Hey, everybody, and welcome to Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk to you about diversifying your beauty supply store. So, those of you who have gotten your beauty supply store up and running, congratulations. Please send me a comment that you have launched your beauty supply store. As of course, I'm always going to have one of our wigs most of the time that we sell in the store. If you like this particular wig, this is a color number 4 and it is called a magic lace wig. And if you go to my website, www.tanishasbeautysupply.com, you can order this particular wig for $64.99 with $10 off. No shipping and no taxes. And the $10 off will come off at checkout time. But I want to give you some good information today about diversifying your beauty supply store. Um, I have encountered a lot of young people and all ages that are into the hair in bundles, and they have stores that are solely dedicated to bundles, solely dedicated to hair. There is a lot of money in hair, so I do understand why. There are some people who their store is solely dedicated to just beauty supply products, such as your color or your, just your basic products that stylists need or people need for home, your relaxers, things like that. Well, the issue with that is if one particular segment of the market is not doing so well, then your entire business is not doing well. You want to diversify, and that's one thing that I have learned in the year and a half that I've been running my beauty supply store is I try to include as much diversity in my store as possible without getting away from the theme of my store. So some of the things that I have included in my store um, are things like, I'll show you, clothing. So hoodies are in. It's about to be winter right now. This is November 2020. It's about to be winter. And so this is one of the hoodies that I have included in my store, Black Lives Matter. It's a really thick hoodie. I have it priced at this particular style is at $34.99. If it wasn't, if there was not a sewn logo on here or sewn wording, then this hoodie would only be $24.99. But the sewn wording makes it more expensive. So your customers, they can wear things like this with jeans, sweatpants, and then they can promote Black Lives Matter as well. That's one of the examples. So I might have someone come in and they might be looking for something like a relaxer, but then they see the hoodie and instead of having a $6.99 sale, I have a $34.99 sale. So when you diversify your store, a lot of times your customers will come in for one thing, but they'll leave with two or three things. If your store does not have diversity, in products, then they're going to come and get what they, were expecting to get, and then they're going to leave. So what I do is I keep record of how many customers I have using a clicker, just one of those basic silver clickers. So let's say you have an average of 40 customers that come on a Saturday. Let's say that's a busy day. Well, what you want to do is take the average amount of money that came in the door for your Saturday. So let's say you had a pretty good Saturday. Let's say, and I don't, it just depends on the size of the store and what you have. So I'm just making up numbers here. Let's say you had maybe $500 revenue that came in that day. Well, if you divide $500 revenue by your 40, and let's say this is your average customer base, by 40 customers, so 500 divided by 40 customers. So your average customer spending is $12.50. But if you diversify your store and include other things, here's an example. These are bling masks. I paid $2.50 for each mask. They came in a pack of 12, and I sell them for $4.99. So they may have come in, like I said earlier, for the relaxer, but oh, I need a mask. Okay. So instead of just $6.99 total, you have the $6.99 with the $4.99. So now you almost double what they intended to spend. So not only do you always want to try to get more customers in the door, you want to increase their spending. And the one way to increase their spending is to diversify what you have in your store. These bling headbands are really hot right now. They are in style. And but I priced mine kind of low. I think I paid $5. No, not this one. This one I am doubling my money. I paid $5.50 for this headband, and I sell it for $11.99. So they might have come in for hair color, they're leaving out, maybe with a headband, maybe with the mask, or at least even if they don't leave out with the headband that day, they've seen it. So they know you carry it. So when they're thinking about a headband, they're going to think, oh, yeah, I remember I went to Tanisha's Beauty Supply and she has those bling headbands, so I'm going to go back. So you want to include as much as possible. One way to get more into your store is use slat wall. And you can see my background. The white wall is called slat wall. And you can literally hang anything. You can hang shelves. You can hang products. They have so many different things that you can hang from slat wall. And what that does is that doubles your square footage. So some of the other things I want to show you. Keeping up with the seasons in your beauty supply store is important, because if you think about the Korean beauty supply stores, they have everything. It's basically you go shopping there. And a lot of people in busy neighborhoods, in the African American busy neighborhoods, a lot of them don't really make it to the mall that much. They just go to the beauty supply store. So why not make your beauty supply store a one-stop shop? And it doesn't even have to be overly crowded if you use slat wall. So if you see my background, you'll see I carry clothes like women's pants. You can see those there. And what you can do with the clothing is you don't have to have all the clothing out. What we do, like you see these pants here, these are $19.99. I paid, I think, $10 for them. So what you do is you take a mannequin, you put the item on the mannequin, and you put the rest of the packs of clothing up somewhere. And when they want the clothing, you just reach behind the counter or wherever you're keeping the clothing, and it's already in the pack, and you give them the clothing. You don't have to have all of your clothing sitting out on the shelves, sitting out on the racks, because that's going to take up more space, and it's also going to be a higher risk of theft. But if you just have one pair on the mannequin, then you can just advertise what you have in the store that way. So another thing that I have, for example, these scarves here. Now these are not Burberry, and they don't say they're Burberry because I don't sell knockoffs in my store. That's illegal. So these scarves, they look like Burberry, and it's fall and it's going on winter, so these are going to be probably pretty hot. Not only do they have this color, they have this color. So you want to get things like that, because there's no way they intended to come into the beauty supply store and pick up a scarf. But it's there, and you can have it on, um, you can have the scarf draped around your mannequin's neck. So not only are you advertising a new wig or a hat, you also could be advertising the scarf. This is how you get that $5 customer or that $12 customer to turn into a $60 customer. So um, this is just another way of diversifying. Find out what's hot. And a lot of times it helps to go, not just to order your merchandise online, but to actually go to different states and go to these warehouses, go to these vendors yourself, even if it's another country. Once you get to that point, I haven't quite gotten to the point where I'm traveling out of the country yet, but go yourself so you can see firsthand what they have. The way I found my vendors is just Googling wholesale vendors, and make sure you deal with an actual store or actual vendor that has a location, because there are scams out there, and I'll talk about that in another video. Don't just order from someone who says they're a vendor. So we'll get into that later. But this is a purse that's really hot right now. I ordered like two of them um, last week and sold out of them really fast. So then I said, okay, well, let me grab some more, because sometimes I want to get just a few so I can test it to see if it's something they're going to like. I've been stuck sometimes where I've gotten a lot of something thinking that my customers would, eat it up, and it didn't take. So sometimes I'll start with just a little just to see how it'll do. But this particular purse, it looks like a stack of money, and they can open it. I have a young crowd for the most part that I deal with, so they can open it that way. And they're not going to get a whole lot in there, but it's just for going to the club or hanging out, or you want your purse to be a conversation piece. So I tend to keep things like this in the showcase window or my jewelry case, so that it can be eye catching. They can see it. So this particular purse, sells for $47.99, and this is a great way to diversify your store. If you're a woman, you probably like pretty things, cute things. So things that are shiny and blingy, they help beautify your space. So that's another way to diversify your product. I'm going to show you this. I tend to lean a lot more toward what women like, because I'm a woman, but trying to be a little conscious of men. I don't carry men clothes. I don't have the space yet. I don't know. I mean, maybe one day I will. It's not a big market for men clothes for some reason. But I did have this, and this looks a little manly. I don't know if women will wear it or not, but I know that winter's coming. So this has nothing to do with beauty supply, but your customer could walk in and, oh my God, it's cold outside. And then, we have to wear these masks. So this just unzips if they want to they don't have to keep putting a mask on and taking it off. They can just have this, and they're warm. And so I have stuff like this. It hasn't really started taking off yet, but it hasn't started snowing yet either. And I sell this for $5.99. I paid like $3 for it. And what I will tell you is your stuff, like your beauty supply products, you cannot double in money unless you are a wholesaler and you can somehow get it for what the wholesalers get it for. If you can't, if you just are buying it wholesale from a vendor, you cannot double your money on beauty supply products, or they'll be way too expensive. You can double your money on products like this, products like the scarves, the clothes, the shoes, the masks, the purses, things like that. That's the most important reason for beauty supply store owners why you want to diversify. Because if you think you're going to get rich off of beauty supply products, you're not. That is not how the Koreans get rich. They are rich, but this is not how they do it. They do it with wigs, hair, accessories, clothing. That's how they get rich, because those are the products that double and sometimes even triple and quadruple. It just depends. But the supplies themselves, you don't even double your money in that. Okay, so one more item two more items I wanted to show you. This is just another example of the headband. So you also want to have different colors of the headbands that you have, or the products that you have. It gives people choice. So you want to try and play with different colors. And then I even do shoes now. Shoes are a little difficult because shoes come in so many different sizes, but I just guess sometimes. I'll get like the popular sizes and see what the shoe does. And I don't try to get like this pair, okay, give me a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I don't do that. I may order a 2 8s and a 9. And then another style I may order 11 and a 12. And another style I may order a 7.5 and a, you know, because I don't have the space or the revenue yet to just buy a ton of shoes, because they may sit for a while, because you're not really a shoe dealer or you're not really a shoe store, but it is something that catches the eye, is cute. And I have sold shoes. I haven't sold a ton of them because I'm just breaking into having them. But when they sell, like this particular shoe is priced at $39.99. That's $40 in the store that day, for one item. And I paid $20 for it. So, no, you may not sell a whole lot of it because you're not a shoe store, but what you can learn from the Koreans is the diversity. Now, I'll never have my store as cluttered as they have theirs. That is disturbing to me. But it's working for them. They're rich. So what I will do is have the diversity, but have it in a way where it still looks, spacious and neat. So those are examples of diversity for products and what you can do. If you're interested in this particular wig, it is in color number 4. I do have 1B if you want black. And you can go to my website, www.Tanisha's Beauty Supply, and it's you can part it any way you want. If you want to see the top, it's a lace front, but you can part it any way you want to. $64.99 with $10 off, and that's www.tanishasbeautysupply.com, and it's MLF55. Thank you for listening. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button and share it with someone who might be interested in this information. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. Thank you.